I just spent 400 bucks on 150 knives. Why? Well, I was sick, stuck at home, and went a bit insane on some eBay listings. And now we're here. So let's see, is it a good deal or did I waste my money? Now first off, I do have a broad idea of what to expect and some gems I won't find, as all the listings looked something like this. But for the majority of them, I have no idea, as I only saw the approximate shape or color or whatever, and yeah, so we'll see. And we'll sort all of them into cheapers and keepers to see, can I make a profit and how will it go. I will take a closer look at all the ones I consider keeping, but when it comes to these ones, I think we're good. So with that said, let's start with this one. As you can see, it does have a box, but by the box I can already say it's probably a cheaper. And you can see it's new, it's in a box, but it's one of these cheap Chinese knives. So it's tossed here, but we already have a Victorinox. This is the classic SD, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, a green one. I actually don't have any green ones yet, so it's pretty nice. Next up we have this thing, which I'm pretty sure is a Soviet knife. Looks pretty rusted. The blade is wobbly, so even though it does look pretty cool, let's toss it here. And for the other cheapers, let's not waste our time. Let's simply toss them in and let's only go through all the keepers. So let's speed it up. Now this one actually looks pretty cool. It's a German knife, as you can see. It's a multi-tool, similar to the Victorinox, but the interesting part is the saw. So it looks like a metal saw. So it's pretty cool. That's not standard on multi-tools, and I'll actually add it to the keepers. And let's say the value of 10 bucks. And for this one, by the way, let's add a value of, let's say 15 bucks. Now this is one of the knives I actually wanted to get. I'm pretty sure I saw it in pictures and it looks pretty awesome. I love this design, and it's actually a stag Ireland knife. As you can see, it's also a multi-tool knife, and in my opinion, looks pretty awesome. So let's toss it here and let's give it a value of about, let's say, 30 bucks. It looks pretty cool. And another Victorinox. This one also looks like the classic SD. Let's check. Yep, the classic SD. And it's an advert knife, so let's give it a value of 10 bucks. This is, I'm pretty sure, a saw again, but it's so rusted, the joints are stuck, so I can't even get the blade out. So it's a cheaper. This one's probably not too valuable, but the shape of it and overall looks pretty cool. So let's add it here with a value of 10 bucks. This is actually a pretty cool Soviet knife, but it's totally rusted. I might restore it, but in this condition, it's a cheaper. And we have a Wenger, which is pretty cool. As you can see, yeah, I actually don't have any, so it's pretty nice. Let's give it a value of 15 bucks. This one's pretty cool, it's cheap, but actually has a crossbar lock, which is pretty nice. Now this one, at first glance, looks like nothing special, but just look at that block. I'm not even sure what it's for, but it's the first time I've seen a tool like this on a multi-tool. And looks pretty cool. Let's see what else is here. And also this thing, which is pretty nice. The blade though is very wobbly. So I should keep it, but the value, let's say 10 bucks. That's pretty interesting. And another Stag Ireland, which is pretty nice. So we have a set. As you can see, this one's also the same, but a different type of knife. Pretty cool. Let's add $10 for that one, and we have a Victorinox. This one's a bit older, as you can see, has the old logo, so it might be from the 80s or 90s. It says economy on the blade, and it seems to be the camber, I'm pretty sure. It's here, so it's pretty nice. It is a bit beat up, but these models usually come with a saw. And Victorinox saws are one of my favorite on a multi-tool. And this one, even though the knife is old, still has a saw in pristine condition. So let's give it a value of $15. And another Wenger. Here's it. I'm pretty sure it's the same as the previous one. The tool set looks the same as on the Victorinox Spartan, so, but this one looks pretty new. So let's give it a value of $15. This is a Soligan, but an Antwerp knife, so it's tossed here. Now this looks like a classic of why you should not buy cheap knives. As you can see, pretty much everything is bent or beat up, and yeah, it's pretty rough. Now this one actually looks pretty cool. I'm pretty sure it's German, and it's a small, compact, vintage camping tool with this pearl handle, and looks pretty nice. So, $10. I'm pretty sure this is an old Italian knife. I have one very similar to this one, with slightly different text on the blade, but other than that, it's very similar. So I'll keep it, let's say $10. Now this one is actually really cool. I don't know if you can see it, but it actually says Victorinox on the blade, and it looks like this. And in addition to that, it has this weird tool, which looks like a scraper or something like that. But it's the first time I've actually seen one like this. Looks pretty cool, but I'm actually not sure what it is. So it's pretty nice. And as it's the first time I've seen it, let's give it a value of $20. This one also looks quite nice. It says Felix Soligan on the blade, and it looks pretty nice. So, $10. This one's also pretty cool. It's a German one, and also has a sheath. So, let's keep it. I would say $10. Similar to the last one, this is also a German one and looks really nice and clean with a sheath. So $10. I'm actually not even sure what this is, but feels broken, and yeah. This, I'm pretty sure, is a fake one. The logo, I can't even spell it, but yeah, this feels fake. Does look pretty cool, but other than that, feels cheap. And we actually have a small Wenger. It's here, and actually looks pretty nice, pretty cool. I guess it's similar to the Classic SD, or the Classic as it doesn't have the screwdriver. And it's pretty cool. So, $10. This is a cheap knife, but still looks pretty cool. The detail on the blade and handle looks pretty cool, and I know someone actually might like it. So, yeah. This is actually a Soviet knife, and it's pretty cool. It looks brand new, and it says Pavlova on the handle. So, it's pretty nice. Let's add a value of, let's say, 20 bucks, as it looks pretty much brand new, and pretty nice. I'm actually not even sure what this is. Looks like a ball opener plus a corkscrew. Which is pretty cool. It does have the sheath. Looks vintage, so I actually keep it, and let's say 5 bucks, as I have no idea. And another Victorinox. This one looks like the Spartan, so it's pretty cool. And 15 bucks. Now this knife has been beat up. Looks pretty rough, so stuff's here. Now let's see what we have here. And it's another cheaper, but the shape is a shape. This is an advert knife, but it's a Solgen and feels pretty much brand new. Plus, it has a really nice snap. So, 5 bucks. And another cheaper with a modular scale, I guess. Then we have another one of these, which looks pretty cool. Similar to the previous one, but this tool, she looks slightly different, which is pretty cool. So 5 bucks. And another old Victorinox, which is pretty nice. This one also, by the logo, is probably from the 80s, which is pretty nice. And it looks like the Spartan. Pretty cool. And we have not just one, but 2 of these Mercedes-Benz knives. They are advert knives, so didn't actually make them, but still look pretty nice. Plus a pearl handle and look pretty premium, so I should keep them. So 10 bucks a pop. Please tell Simon Fichtel I have his knife. If you know him, let him know. And I finally found it. This one is pretty cool. It's actually Victorinox, and it's called the Victorinox Tomo. And a while back, I didn't know it actually exists, but just look at it. It's pretty cool. It has the same tool set as the Victorinox Classic SD, but the design is entirely different. And it's actually a Victorinox, which is pretty cool. So 20 bucks. Now let's check this one. We have a Victorinox in a box. And it looks brand new. This is the Victorinox Hiker, which is pretty cool. This one also should have a saw, and it does. It's pretty nice. I didn't actually have this model, so it's pretty cool. Let's say 20 bucks. Although this is a Solgen and has a pretty decent snap for an old tool. Let's oil it and let's see. As it looks pretty old, the scales look nice, so 5 bucks. And now, let's go to Las Vegas. Let's check this one out. And it doesn't feel great. It does have a USA stamp on it, but I don't really believe it. It does look cool though. It has this pearl-like scales, so looks pretty cool, but it's probably cheap. So Leatherman, I think we have a contender. These look really crooked. Now we have another Soviet knife. This one also looks brand new. Looks pretty nice and clean. Pretty cool design. So, $10. Let's keep it. Another Soviet one, although this one is a bit crooked. Looks pretty new. So, at least $5, let's say. This one actually looks pretty cool. It says USA on the bottle opener, as well as a pan number, and might actually be pretty nice. So, $5. Now this one actually looks pretty cool. Looks old. I'm actually not sure of the country. It says Yovica Republic on the blade, so I'm not entirely sure, but this tool looks pretty interesting. Seems like a fire tool of some sorts, but not entirely sure. So, $10. We have another Mercedes-Benz knife. Looks pretty nice. This one's with a sheath and in better condition. Looks pretty cool, although a bit crooked. So, $10. Now this one's actually pretty interesting. It has this cork material on the side, so it's actually a falling knife. So let's open it up like this. That's a nice snap. It's actually a German knife. It says rostfrei on the blade, so it's pretty nice. And it's the first one I have, so let's say $30. We have another old soul again with a pretty decent snap, so $5. And another small soul again, so $5. Then we have this thing in a box, which is nothing special, I'm pretty sure, as the box is not even marked, although there are these numbers. But kind of looks like a razor, so it's tossed here. Another small soul again, which looks quite nice, so $10. Then we have one of these, which is quite similar to the one we just checked out a while back. And this one actually looks quite a bit older. Also has this weird tool and looks pretty nice. But I actually just noticed this weird corkscrew. It's the first one I've seen with one like this. So it's definitely a keeper, but let's say $10. I'm pretty sure this is also a Soviet knife. Looks brand new, and it's actually the first one I've seen with scale tools, which is pretty cool. They are a bit different than the Victorinox, the usual, but pretty cool. This one has a fork and so on. So $20. Then we have another Victorinox. This one looks like it could be the hiker about the tool set. It's pretty nice, white. I like the color, but it's an advert knife. So let's say $15. And now we have the last two cherries. First up is this one, which actually has this cool blade, which almost looks like a butter knife. Looks pretty nice. And besides that, also has this weird tool, like the art tools, which is, I'm still not entirely sure what for, but it's pretty cool. And overall, looks pretty cool. Although it is a bit beat up, but still pretty nice. So $10. And as the last one, we have this thing, which I saved for last, as I already saw it a while back. But this is actually my first silver knife. It's light, it's small, but by the markings, I did see a close-up for this one, so by the markings it should be from the 19th century. And the handle should be made from sterling silver, which is pretty cool, as I like silver, so having a silver knife is pretty damn nice. Also has a sheath, and for this one, I'll give a value of 40 bucks. So yeah, we've run through all of the knives, so let's get this out of the way. And by my calculations, it should be a total of about 520 bucks. Which means we are in the green. It's quite nice. And we also didn't add anything for all of these. And to average out about a buck a piece, let's say about 100 bucks. So it's a total of about 620. If I made a slight mistake, you'll see it above somewhere, but take a note that these values are from the top of my head, so if I'm wrong or anything else, simply let me know. And I'm also planning on individual videos on some of them, like this one. And I still don't know what quite to do with all of these. But if you have any ideas, or maybe some you're more interested in, simply let me know. Leave a comment. And yeah, if you like this type of video, leave a like, subscribe, and see you soon. Bye.